All right, so we're at Nkoloma Stadium where Red Arrows Football Club had a date with Lusaka Dynamos. Let's look at the battle of the two tactical juggernauts, Patrick Piri and Ona Janza, the home side. Lineups, shall we? Let's look at the two tactical formations that were chosen. So Red Arrows in red and Lusaka Dynamos in the orange. So Lusaka Dynamos, the away team, opted to play a 4-4-2, and for Onajanza's men, they decided to go for a 4-3-3 formation with Patrick Dudengoma, the shirt number 14, leading the line for the Airmen. So let's begin to dissect and look at the variables of the game, starting with the attack, shall we? So let's look at Lusaka Dynamos in attack and how they did with that 4-4-2 formation they actually started with. Now, for Lusaka Dynamos, an away game, taking on Onajanza, and this was what was happening. So you had a situation where the back four would open up, they would try to play out, eliminate Patrick Dudengoma, but the rest of the team was actually doing a medium press. So when the ball gets into central midfield, into the one on the ball right now, Sydney Kalume, you had a situation where the four attackers for Lusaka Dynamos took up a high default position, meaning it was 1v1 in those areas. Silver lining to that, in an attacking sense for Lusaka Dynamos, is that the space in between the channels or between the players, so to speak. But look at the positioning of Luwinda Mundia, the shirt number 8 in red, the number 18 George Mbaya, and Daniel Sivanda there. They are actually closing out the potential for Lusaka Dynamos to actually play a ball on the ground into Cletus Chamachota, into Chris Mugalo, into Fwayotembo, into Jimmy Congo.
Yeah, I think when you look at that system there, when you have got the back four and you've got two strikers, when you're in possession of the ball, it's better to go with the ball into the wing so that you attract one defender out, and then you allow the other two from the midfield to join. So you must have always a numerical advantage. If there are four defenders, you must have five strikers that are going into the box. And if you are defending, you must always have numerical advantage, because the Red Arrows had three strikers, and Lusaka Dynamos, they had advantage of four defenders. So the play was supposed to be in the midfield, where it should have been, when the Dynamos lost the ball, there must have been 4 against 3.
Okay, so let's actually look at that. I was a little bit surprised, Vesper, that they were taking that high default position in this game. But let's just look at what Triple C, Cletus Chamachota, was doing. He began to screen. So let's have a look at Cletus Chamachota screening. And here's what happens. He moves out and runs into the central areas, okay? And this is after Red Arrows take the lead. They're leading 1-0. And Cletus Chamachota, because he was taking high default position, he was not getting any joy against Jimmy Senga. But they also brought on Mwansa Sofwa in this game. Again, Red Arrows were choking them out in central midfield, because it's actually 3 versus 4. And because they're being choked out, Fwayotembo decides to start coming short for the purpose of attack.
Yes, Zite, if you saw their attack, they tried to go into attack with 4 strikers, Fwayo, Cletus, and the other 2. If you've seen Zite, they were failing to penetrate because of the way defenders for Red Arrows were disciplined. I'm sure that the discipline also helped Red Arrows to keep their position, because if you look at the Fwayo was there moving up and down. He can go down to get the balls, but you find Jimmy is there waiting for him, and even maybe getting the ball from the center failing to even reach the 18. At one point, they were failing even to shoot at goal. So it means if you look at the way Red Arrow, was organized in both midfield and the defense, which made them even failing to get a goal.
Okay, so if you look at these games, it was going spunky well for Honor Janza and his men. It was 1-0 thanks to a goal from Lubinda Mundia, but we had a rush of blood to the head moment when Patrick Dudengoma was adjudged to have lunged into Sidney Kalume illegally, and Janis Kazo was having none of that. He sent Patrick Dudengoma for an early shower. So let's look at Red Arrows after the sending off of Patrick Dudengoma, because actually it even became more interesting that throughout the game, Red Arrows were seemingly very safe, and they appeared to be safer after the sending off of Patrick Dudengoma. But let's just look at the technicalities, shall we? So in the central areas, don't forget, Lusaka Dynamos are playing 4-4-2. And what Honor Janza does is that he doesn't make a substitution. He actually just changes the way the midfield will be operating in the central areas. So almost playing like a diamond, where you've got Sivanda, the number 11, you've got George Mbayambaya, you've got Stanley Shimbi, and Bruce Msakanya on top of the diamond. So the job for Bruce is actually to mark the number 16, Sidney Kalume, because once Lusaka Dynamos play out, they give the ball to Sidney Kalume, who then should distribute it into the next line of attack, which is Cletus Chamachota, Musa, and Jimmy Congo. But that wasn't happening because it was 4v2 in the central areas, and seemingly Lusaka Dynamos didn't have a response to Janza's diamond in midfield.
Yes, Zite. They didn't have that diamond, especially in the midfield, because of, if you look at the way Bruce Msakanya was dropping down in the midfield, collecting balls, moving forward, playing interchanging passes with Dude. Even my Mbuya, I was shocked to see him scoring those 2 goals. I think he has improved, even if you look at his play from the time he was called to the national team. I think looking at the attacking for Red Arrows, it was good because they were moving with passes from defense, transition from the midfield, even up front to the 2 strikers.
Now, I want to bring you in on this one. To mark a diamond, you have to be a diamond. And you're playing ball-shaped 4-4-2. Hey, how do you do that?
How do you break the ice?
You see, sometimes you should look at the material also you have.
No, I'm just asking, you're being forced to mark a diamond.
Yes.
But the material you have wanted to play a ball shape.
Yes, you need to have at least some communication from the bench. How they should, you know your player, who is who when the chips are down. So you can still mark, but depending on, again, the results.
There's also the pressure which was coming from Red Arrows. That pressure which was coming from the strikers gave also the defenders a pressure not to start moving. And hence it gave Kalume, if you saw Kalume, was too much deep into defense, failing to join the strikers. Hence there are the problems of maybe even reaching on the goal and having even a goal. It was difficult for them.
Yeah, so 31 minutes onto the clock, Patrick Dudengoma is sent off, and yes, that begins to happen, and Honor Janza is still having a breeze at the office. Let's have a look at Red Arrow's interceptions, because everything was seemingly quote in favor of Lusaka Dynamos on the day. Now, after looking at those interceptions, Coach Mwinde, is that everywhere Lusaka Dynamos tried to go they were being choked out, they were being sniffed out. And this was forcing them to be playing some square passes here and there, especially in midfield before they get into the Red Arrows half. Once they do, the Diamond just chokes them. They are failing to form lines of pass. And yes, the rest is history. But look at how many times Red Arrows win the ball in Lusaka Dynamos half. 5 times. But in their own half, everywhere they went, there was no joy and glory for Patrick Piri's men.
Yes, but when you see that, it shows that somebody knows the game reading. You see, he ensured that they were not marking or individually. They were going as a block, wherever it is. They are suffocating the space, so that maybe Lusaka Dynamos could even play back. You know, they failed to go in front. It's because they didn't disintegrate the Red Arrows players. So that was very good tactical move, and he knew that they were one man down. They only maybe left one person in front, and the rest, they came and bunched themselves in the midfield.
Yeah, talking about that, let's just take stock of the Red Arrows attack transition. Now, in transition is that whilst they're winning the ball like that, once they get the ball, let's take stock of what Ona Janza's men were doing. Now, once they get the ball, most of the second balls were being won by the back four, and of course, the man babysitting the defense, that's George Simbamba, the number 18. Once he gets the ball and gives it to Stanley Shimbi, look at the positioning of the number 8, Luwindam Dia. Look at Bruce Msakanya. The Diamond is changing shape, becoming a little bit longer, expanding, forming lines of pass, meaning it's 1v1 there. Shimbi versus Paul Banda. And you'll be a brave man not to think that Shimbi is actually going to take him on. But what I want us to look at is, look at who is left behind when Red Arrows are actually attacking. The ball is already beyond them. Look at Fayo Tembo. Look at Aubrey Funga. Look at Mwansanso for the number 20. The number 9. Okay, maybe the number 9 has to remain Chris Mugalo. But yes, it's almost 1v1 against very silky players that can eliminate opponents. All of them in that Diamond and in that Red Arrows attack, Vespa.
Yes, if you look at the way Arrows was correcting the balls, and they will put them wide from the wing, so that he can have time to keep the ball, and maybe allowing his other players to join him, and it even gave them an advantage that they were moving as a team, and managed to get the 2 goals which they scored.
Okay, so it was a depressing day at the office for Lusaka Dynamos. Let's just have a look at the shots structure. They were being choked everywhere they went. The interceptions were on point. They were failing to win duels. And yes, if you look at with the mercurial skills of Fayo Tembo, Aubrey Funga, Cletus Chamachota, who later got sent off in this game, let's look at the shot structure for Lusaka Dynamos. And I'm sure for Patrick Piri and co, they're definitely not happy with what they were able to do. Only 3 times they actually managed to shoot, and they were all team efforts. So it's one of those things. If you're Patrick Piri, what do you do now? You're expected to win the league. Look at the amount of money that has been spent at Lusaka Dynamo.
I think, you know, sometimes also, let us look at psychological. Sometimes our players, they lose, they think because there are many, it's easier to beat the numerical advantage. But they play in a hurry, and then because they are 1-0 down, they want to score, so the playing is erratic.
But they had time to think about it. Like 15 minutes before halftime, Red Arrows are a man light. They go into halftime. In the second half, Red Arrows continue to enjoy superiority in that game. Let's talk to Pastor Hora in Kapiri. Pastor, good evening.